Gender equality. What is gender equality? Gender equality is the state in which access to rights or opportunities is unaffected by gender. Number 1. Equal pay. There is a gender pay gap between men and women. Women are being paid less than men. In 2019, a woman makes 79 cents for every dollar a man makes. In 1963, a labor law called the Equal Pay Act were aiming to abolish wages based on someone's gender.
Silent load is full, so slow on the split. And I told you to be patient.
Number 2. Violence against women. Violence against women is a result in power between men and women. In this case, men have more power than women, especially in the workplace. This results in verbal, physical, and psychological abuse. This happens in all countries in all social classes. In Latin America, femicide, meaning the killing of women, is at its highest right now. Guatemala has the highest rate of being 123 femicides per 1 million women. Number 3. Sexual harassment. 50% of sexual assaults happen to females under the age of 16. These females have no voice or feel as if they have no voice. 1 in 4 women experience sexual assault or harassment in work. Majority of these experiences are no reporting due to the fact the women might feel like they will lose their job or something more terrifying can happen to them by reporting it out of anger of the man. 72% of sexual harassment that were reported ended up in the retaliation in the end. How effective is HR at handling sexual harassment complaints? As the picture states, it depends on who you ask and what their role is. 94% of men in HR and 48% of men outside of HR think they are effective. 60% of women in HR and 26% of women outside of HR think they are effective. This is a big gap difference.
In the U.S., most states charge sales tax for women's pads and tampons. 11 states have dropped the tampon tax, being Minnesota, Illinois, Nevada, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida, and Rhode Island, according to the New York Times. This picture encompasses what a woman has to do daily perfectly, because not only do we have to work, we have to strategize for everything. We have a home, we have a family, we have kids, we have time that we need to meet with our friends. We have to socialize. You can't just spend every waking hour spending time with your kids. And we also need to rest. Something that I always think about when I'm watching TV or I'm reading something is, did a woman write this or did a man write this? Is a woman producing it or is a man producing it? And I think it's really important that people start to recognize that women are really not seen in the media world.
Why are women underrepresented in politics? Nowadays, we are able to see females little by little in the political field. For example, Australia has had a female as a prime minister in the past, just as America with Hillary Clinton trying to become the first lady to become the president. As crazy as it sounds, women have a tendency to be more critical than men politicians. The media sometimes feels the need to go overboard with the way a female is dressed and how she looks with her makeup or even her hairstyle or color. People tend to see women as being emotional when they are representing their political view. This isn't right. It's wrong because women actually represent half the voting nation. Society sees women as not being capable to be in the political circle. Sadly, this is still being treated as a man's role, causing women to work harder so they could be taken serious. Women in sports, where are we today with gender equality? According to Olympic.org, the focus of the panel with a discussion of the challenges still facing girls and women in sports and how sports can not only empower females but also help produce tangible results when it comes to gender equality and greater inclusions and diversity. The biggest issue in gender equality in sports is how women have to face not getting paid the same as men. In sports, women have been fighting for their rights, causing them to deal with the struggles of differences and challenges which women encounter on a daily basis. Women athletes have to deal with harassment when they are playing. Normally, during a game. They also deal with sexist comments coming from men who think female athletes aren't talented enough to play sports. Lastly, the USA women's and men's soccer team brought up a discussion as to the payments in sports being equal between themselves. An article I recently read talked about how gender equality isn't only a women issue, it's everybody's issue. It also helped me understand the meaning of its very own title. 26-year-old Nain, who was raised by her mother from the age of 10, says women can achieve many goals, especially when they are willing to make a stand and they are given the opportunity. Also, she says how men need to understand and participate a little more for them to promote gender equality. This is actually very true. Women aren't trying to take the role of a man. We as women just want to have an opinion so we can be heard.